Why Zeri, a series where I interview one tricks. Okay, so we have Junnie here. He is a Zeri OTP and he's going to be teaching us tips and tricks or fun facts about Zeri. First question I have for you, Junnie, is why did you pick up Zeri?
I picked up Zeri for the first time because she was a new ADC that everyone was going crazy about as like, oh wow, it's the ADC that has the FPS type of feel to her. And I'm gonna be honest, when I first picked her up and I started playing games on her, I fed my ass off like every single game. I was so bad at her. So with that determination in mind, I decided I wanted to get better at Zeri. And over time, I started to enjoy her a lot more. She felt super fast paced. I loved the kiting feel on her.
Out of like all the Zeri skins, which one is your favorite?
I want to say Prestige Fright Night Zeri just because I love the animation effects as well as the sound effects. It has like a very lightning themed feel to it, as it has like that high pitched sound plus it just kind of feels really fast, including the color aesthetic of the skin. Yeah, if I could say like not including every single skin, then I want to say the classic, because the classic I feel like was just really well done. Loki, I kind of feel like it's comparable to any of the other skins too.
All right, and then is there like a pay to win skin for Zeri, or maybe a pay to lose skin?
I feel like the pay to win skin might just be either or of the Fright Night series, like the regular Fright Night series or the Prestige Fright Night, just because especially when you ult, the animations feel so thin. Like compared to, let's say, maybe Withered Rose series, when you ult, her, like, as good as that skin feels, her Q looks kind of fat, whereas in this skin, her RQ looks really thin.
Oh, okay. For someone that's new to playing Zeri, could you show us an easy, medium, and hard combo?
So starting with any of the easy combos, the most basic one is going to be QEQ. So your Q is your main form of damage that scales, the cooldown scales with your attack speed, but your E is considered an auto reset for your Q. So the moment you use your E, it will reset your Q CD, so it'll look like this. That's the most basic combo. You can also throw in your passive zaps, like whenever. If we wanted to do a more intermediate combo, then I'd probably say something like QEW. So you can weave in your W in the middle of your E dash.
Oh, okay.
So it would look a little bit more like... Okay, so that was 5 button presses, QEW, Q auto. And then if we wanted to say the hardest combo, then it's definitely... I'm gonna say the button sequence first. So it's W, Q flash, E RQ, and then auto.
Oh wow, okay.
That last combo is the most difficult combo, I would say.
Oh, okay. I see. What is a most common mistake new Zeri players make?
The most common one that comes to mind is how Zeri players will use their passive zap. So notice how my zap right now is uncharged. They will almost never use it because they think it deals, it does nothing for them, right? And they also commonly mistake that the full charge zap is the one that executes when it's actually the uncharged version. So the one that I'm using right now. They also almost never weave it in between Qs, even though there's no downtime for doing so.
Oh, okay. Wait, yeah, I do see that. Alright. And then, I guess, is that the most, like, common mistake you mentioned?
Yeah, I feel like that's the most common one. The second one, which is also, like, really big, is the way Zeri players will use their E. So it's such a long cooldown. Like at rank 1 is 22 seconds, right? And at rank 5 it's 18 seconds, but the cooldown is reduced every single time you hit your Q or your abilities, right? A little bit more if you crit. But even then, it's just so long of a cooldown to give you on hit plus pierce damage for 5 seconds that it's better to use it as get out of jail free card, or just an escape tool instead of like a self-aggression tool.
How do you really beat Zeri? Or you can talk about like when she's her weakest, when she's strong, or champions you like ban, or if you see you're more cautious of, like anything like that, I guess. So I guess, how do you really beat Zeri?
Anyone who can either gap close her or outrange her is definitely a start on how to beat her. Being mindful of her power spikes is also good to know. Of course, like in team fights, that's where she generates the most amount of damage because she's this team fighting monster, right? Like as soon as she pops ulti, then she has the chain lightning going all around. She also usually builds like Rinan, so that's even more AoE coming out from the auto attacks. And then say if you guys like lined up, then any empowered W angles will benefit her, as well as her Q when she pierces with her EQ.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely you don't really want to fight her in in a grouped setting. If you do, then you want to lock her down as soon as possible, or just bait out her ulti. So that's the start. If you wanted to abuse Zeri, definitely level 1s to level 2. She's super weak in laning. It's her weakest point in the game, as most champions are, but hers is considerably weaker compared to other ADCs. Keep in mind that her Q stops at the first target hit, and even with my with my E, sorry, if I were to do like piercing damage, it's reduced damage to the second target behind. Alright, so if I wanted to hit this guy, I have to go around. Right, I can't just Q through this first target unless I use my E. But even then, it's still not as much damage as compared to the first target.
Oh wait, okay.
Yeah, which is why if you're playing in the matchup that has prio bot lane that is almost always able to shove lane on Zeri, then most of the time you're just gonna be winning that lane.
Okay. And then when it comes to like matchups, what supports do you like playing with Zeri?
I definitely really enjoy playing with Rel, Karma, Bard, Leona, and then the last one I want to say is Yuumi, but I know a lot of people don't really like the idea of Yuumi just because she's kind of AFK in lane, but she's not really there for the lane, she's more for like mid to late game. But all of the other champions that I mentioned, really good at helping Zeri out during her laning phase, or just even setting her up for kills.
What was that on my screen? Sorry. I just saw an icon. Okay. Anyways, okay. And then another thing was, since you are a Zeri OTP, could you show us any tricks with her?
People, if say you're trying to catch up to an enemy, most people will do like on say another ADC like flash auto. So for Zeri it would be like flash Q, right? But because your Zeri's Q is an ability that you can recast, you can actually do something like Q flash to it'll make the rest of your combo thereafter a lot faster. So let's say I wanted to catch up to this person right here, I can just Q flash forward like this. So it's actually a lot faster compared to just doing like flash Q.
Yeah.
It's like a very minimal difference, but higher up you go, like, and the more skilled you get, then those small differences will start to matter. You can also like do Q flash in a different way. Like let's say that you need to dodge an ability, like maybe this is a hook, but you wanted to prep your Q, so you could also do Q flash up like this. Although your first like rounds of bullets will miss, but it's pretty useful in most scenarios. Usually forward Q flash is better. Same thing for R flash. So on the initial cast of R, like there is this little jump up that people can react to. So if I say that flash R, then people have that half second longer to react because they saw the flash first, right? And then the jump up. But say if I ulted from all the way back here where I'm out of range into the flash, then that's a lot harder to react to. So something like this.
I see some Zeris, when they come out of base, they like jump the wall to get to lane faster. Is that something like Zeri mains do, or because sometimes I don't see them? Is that something you can tell a Zeri OTP from non-Zeri OTPs?
Yeah, so a lot of Zeri players, if you want to come to base with me real quick,
Yeah. Wait, what's the
they'll
button?
actually
Wait, hold on. Wait, what's the button? Hold on, teleport. Oh, okay.
shift us. Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so a lot of Zeri players will try to dash from base, like somewhere from right over here, which is fine, right? Because they get to just move out of the base.
Yeah.
And they conserve a little bit more of their mana when they do that, right? But sometimes they'll just like, that's honestly just wasted space, like whether they do it from here or here, because when you're in the fountain, the fact of the matter is that you can still regen your HP, mana, and buy items from the edge of fountain. It doesn't have to be from the center of base, this is where you're going to be every single time you recall or respawn. So instead of doing it from here, like I feel like you should just be standing here to regen your resources, because it's wasted space from here to here. It's a couple of seconds of movement already, right? And you probably have the home guards as well. So instead of that fountain dash, I recommend doing this tier 2, this inhib dash, right? You can do it from all points of the map, right? Whether it's here, top, or red side as well. So as long as you're in this little groove, you can dash all the way from here to the bush.
Oh. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. I didn't know that. What is a fun fact about Zeri, or what is something that most people might not know about Zeri? I guess. Maybe you kind of already answered it. If so, then you can ignore it. But that's basically my last question for you, is what is a fun fact about Zeri?
A fun fact about Zeri is she's apparently friends with Echo. So if you have an Echo paired on your side of the team,
Yeah.
playing together, and you get any takedowns, you actually get +1 gold for those takedowns.
Oh wait, what? Did you get an extra gold? Wow,
You
okay.
get 1 extra gold for this takedown.
Nice. Okay. Well, I guess that's all my questions. Do you have anything else you wanted to share with current Zeri players, new players who wants to pick up Zeri, or anything at all? Or maybe like any more tricks you got up your sleeve?
So starting with E, I mentioned earlier you would want to use it as an escape tool. So another reason for this is because when you wall ride as Zeri, you can actually buffer a good amount of CC. Like let's say if you get stunned, you get rooted, like most CCs, not including suppression, knockback, knock up, the rest you can all buffer with the wall ride, which is why it's really OP. So you just use it as a repositioning tool.
Yeah.
That's one. Number two, I definitely recommend learning to use your W angles for empowered W, because for one, it's always a guaranteed crit onto enemy champions, monsters, and I recommend maxing your W before your Q, because the Q DPS and the ratios are kind of non-existent in comparison to W.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then just to go a little bit more in depth as to like what those numbers actually look like. So when you put points into Zeri's Q from rank 1 to rank 5, you're only getting 8 extra active damage from like rank 1 to rank 5. It's 15 flat damage to 23. And then the rest of it is based on your total AD scaling, which you don't really have a lot of until like level 13, when you have like maybe 2+ AD items, right? Because the AD scaling starts at 1.04, it's going up to 1.2, right? So you're only getting 0.16 increase in the AD scaling. Whereas for your W, it starts at 30, going up to 190 base damage. And then the AD scaling is 1.3 flat at all ranks. And then it, as we know, it's also a guaranteed crit during the empowered W damage.
Yeah. Okay.
And because it's a crit, that means Infinity Edge, the bonus crit damage from that item, benefits your empowered W.
Okay. Huh, okay. Wow. Alright. Well, that is all. Thank you, Junie, for showing the ropes of Zeri and teaching us all these new things. And yeah, I don't know how to end this video. Okay. Alright, wow, thank you, Junie. Thank you.